Hi guys, welcome back to Sheri Approved, and today's video is the second in our Let's Get Sensitive series. So in the last video, we talked about sensitive skin. Do you really have sensitive skin? What might be the possible causes? Did you create a sensitivity issue with your skin? To help us understand, some of the reactions or the irritations that we have sometimes and what we could probably do about it. So I mentioned, for example, the last time that we have something called our natural skin barrier and how important that is. It's like the uppermost part of our skin, our epidermis, and basically that's there to protect or keep or seal in hydration and moisture in our skin and to prevent pollutants and irritants and allergens and all those things from getting into our skin. So in other words, if that is thinned or it's damaged or it's weakened or it's completely removed, in other words, our skin is basically open to all the elements, and sometimes things that should not create irritations will start to create irritations because of that. So we talked a little bit about some of the things that could actually disrupt or have an effect on our skin barrier. So we talked about it could be environmental reasons. Sometimes it's the pollen, the Sahara dust. Sometimes for some people it's the sun or extreme cold weather. We talked about the fact that just simply aging or getting older, our natural skin barrier naturally thins. It could be genetic. Sometimes it's the immune system. Sometimes it's because you're using the wrong type of products, the wrong skincare, wrong ingredients for your skin type, over exfoliation. We talked about a few things. If you want to get the details, I highly recommend that you go and check out that first video where I went into a little bit more detail. Today's video, we want to focus on if you do have a compromised skin barrier, so you're experiencing, for example, when you use certain skincare products or regular things that you think, oh, why am I experiencing this irritation, this sensitivity? It could be that there's an issue with your skin barrier and you want to know what can I do at home to probably improve that and reduce that sensitivity. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. So the first thing is, and I think I actually ended the last video talking about this, look for the major culprits or the regular culprits that usually tends to tick off some people. So that means you're going to take up your skincare now and look at the ingredients. You're going to go back to basics. So all the things with fragrance, essential oils, and you also want to look for things that has the bad alcohols like denatured alcohol. It's sometimes listed as SD alcohol. You find a lot in toners, or a long time we used to say astringents, and those things actually literally strip the skin. And a lot of people would have loved that feeling because it literally got rid of everything. But what it also did is disrupted your natural skin barrier. So now your skin suddenly goes into a frenzy and it doesn't know what to do. And that's why for a lot of people, it will actually produce extra oil because the skin is trying to repair that really, really quickly. So you want to look at your skincare and look for the things that are the more popular, sensitivity causing ingredients. And you want to try to not use those, just to check to see if that's what's causing your skin issue. The second thing is, once you realize there's a sensitivity issue, stop all scrubs, stop exfoliation, physical and chemical, stop using spin brushes, stop using silicone pads, no acids, no retinoids for a while. Let your skin naturally rebuild that barrier. So put it down. I know for some of us are like, oh my God, how am I going to do without it? You could, just for a couple weeks, let your skin settle and let it just do what it has to do naturally, because for some of us, we have been over exfoliating. So you use your spin brush and you use a scrub and you go in with a very, very strong acid serum, and all that is way too much for your skin. That's why on Sheri Approved, I preach to you all gentle and consistent. So just stop it for a while. If you find that all of a sudden things are burning, irritating, redness, that kind of thing, just stop it for a while, for a couple of weeks, and see what happens. The third thing is check the pH of your products. And I know we sounding a little bit, scientific here, but it's really, really important. You would find that a lot of times people who are having like consistent breakouts, acne, sometimes they would message me and ask me to help them with their skincare routine. And one of the first things that I usually recommend is using a low pH cleanser, and that's really important because that's the first thing that's going to hit your skin. Now our skin is naturally between a pH of like 4.7 to 5.7, which is actually more on the acidic side as opposed to the alkaline side, and a lot of cleansers are more alkaline. And you'd find that in the last couple of years, especially the Korean cleansers have really been breaking barriers and have been producing low pH cleansers, and they're doing that to allow your skin to not fully be stripped by the cleanser, first of all, as well as to allow, even through the cleansing process, that your natural skin pH is maintained. And that's really important, because if that pH gets too acidic or too alkaline, which tends to be the problem most times, the alkalinity, then our skin cannot do what it's normally going to do in order to protect us. So that's like the first line of defense. Look at your cleanser, and if it's too alkaline, you may just need to switch, right? And in general, just look at the pH of your products, especially things that are going to have like direct contact with your skin. The fourth point is look at the temperature of the water that you're washing your face with. So some of us may wash our face with very cold water, some with very hot water, and neither is good. Especially washing your face with hot water will actually strip your skin. And some of us don't take that into consideration. We want to have some very, very hot showers, hot baths. So you want to make sure that the water that you're using to actually wash your skin is just right in the middle. It's lukewarm. That tepid type of temperature is best to wash your skin. And it might seem like such a simple thing, but that simple thing could make a huge difference in your skin, because if you are washing your face with hot water consistently, you are every day literally just having an effect on your natural skin barrier. The fifth thing is look for ingredients that are going to help to repair or build back your skin barrier. So one of those ingredients is niacinamide, for example. And niacinamide, why? Because it actually boosts the natural ceramide production in your skin. And as we're saying ceramides, you could look for products as well that has ceramides. Like one of my favorite daytime moisturizers, and I'm not even going to talk about it because I think it's discontinued and I'm having real difficulty finding it. One of the things, the beautiful ingredients in it is ceramides, and it helps my skin because it's actually protecting my natural lipids, hence causing my skin to not produce so much extra oil during the day. But that ceramide is actually helping and protecting my natural skin barrier and helping to build it back. And while we're talking about ceramides, look for also things with fatty acids or certain types of oils like safflower oil or jojoba oil or squalene. These are almost like natural oils that mimic natural sebum, so they're really good for the skin in terms of your protecting and building back your natural skin barrier. And you also want to make sure that you are using humectants. So we know, everybody knows about hyaluronic acid. It actually attracts moisture to the skin, but there are also simple ingredients that you find in a lot of skincare, like glycerin. And even if you don't have a skincare product with glycerin, you can actually purchase glycerin on its own, plain and simple, and that actually helps to build back and repair your natural skin barrier. And while we're talking about ingredients, the next thing is look for things to give your skin back antioxidants and anti-inflammatory. So vitamin C, vitamin E is good. Things like green tea, which is now one of those ingredients that you find in a lot of skincare. You find it in serums, in masks. Those things actually give your skin some help to fight. So they are putting back some goodness and also helping to calm the skin by being anti-inflammatory. Number 7 is look at diet and supplements. And I'm talking about your skin and skincare, but as you all know, I talk a lot about what happens internally in your body is going to affect your skin. So if it is that you can actually bump up your omega-3s and your fatty acid intake, things like what we know, cold water fish, flaxseed, walnuts, because if you're taking it internally, it is going to have an effect on your skin. And besides the fact of, just building your skin barrier, those foods actually help to reduce inflammation in the body. So a lot of times, sometimes the irritation, the sensitivity we experience in our skin is actually our body just being, acting out, or the inflammation for, against some type of allergen or our body's response to something. So taking these things and having these things either in your natural diet, the foods that you eat, or actually through supplements, is going to help to reduce that inflammation in your body. Number 8, if anybody could guess, could we have a video where we don't mention SPF? SPF is one of the easiest ways to protect your natural skin barrier because it will protect against the environmental stresses of the skin. I mean, that's a given. Without it, you're going to have direct impact of UV rays, and you could prevent that by simply wearing SPF. It's so simple. Why are we not doing it yet? And the last thing that I'm going to talk about, last thing I want to mention in terms of building and repairing your skin barrier is watch your stress levels. And that has nothing to do with the skincare, but your stress has a huge impact on your skin sensitivity, believe it or not, because stress triggers the body in so many ways. It's amazing. Besides the fact that if you have elevated stress levels, we already know, a lot of us know that when we are under stress, some of us break out, or we see all kinds of strange things happening with our skin. But some of us, our skin actually becomes a little bit more sensitive when our stress levels are high. But besides that, did you know that when your stress levels are high, it slows the body's process of healing itself and of repairing itself? So if you're looking at, you know, wanting to rebuild or repair your natural skin barrier, you really need to find ways of controlling your stress. Because doing all these things, you know, supplementing and getting the ingredients, the right ingredients for your skin and to help your skin calm down and that kind of thing, but then you're having a lot of stress. It's like you're doing one thing here, but then you're fighting it on the other side. So it's like, you know, how much sense is it really going to make? So it's a very holistic approach to helping to repair something that we sometimes disrupted. I hope this video was helpful for you, and maybe perhaps you were doing some of these things, but maybe you could also look at some of the other tips to help reduce the sensitivity of your skin when it comes to using your skincare products, or, you know, just in general. So guys, I see you in another video, and let's have a chat down in the comments. I'll see you again. Bye.